Hi all. So in our previous video we have seen how the process report making, a simple process report we have made, and for the name part what we have done is we have converted that display name, HR display name was there in our dynamic display. So TP Bank display name we have converted instead of the name field, and now we want to display that data into our interface so that the HR can approve the tasks. For that I have created the interface as well. Let's create one expression rule so that we will get to know all the values. So let's create and get process report data. So I have just created this expression rule to get the process report data. So in our expression rule, what we will do is in order to create a task report, what we need, Bank query process analytics. Okay, so for the same one, let's try to use the same function, Bank query process analytics. So if you go to the definition of that, it will say that it runs a portal report with the provided context. Context means what? Currently we have selected a process model in the context of that. Okay, and in our edit also you can see that a report runs on this process model, and that is our report context. So whatever the context we have provided, it will run on that and returns the results in a portal report data subset, and it will return us the data subset. So let's create the expression rule, and for the report, so in order to refer the report, what we will do is this process report we can't refer directly, so we would have to create a constant for that. Now, so here we will just write process report pointer, let's write it like this, and the type. What is the type of that process report? So in the constant, if you search, you can't get here what kind of report. So this report is there, but this report is not the actual report, process report. It is a tempo report. Okay, so we will store it as a document. So process reports are stored as a document only. That is an interview question as well. And now, what is our report name? TR reimbursement PR. Okay, and now we will create our constant for the process report. So now we have created our constant. So the same constant we will refer here in our report. So to refer a constant, we'll use process report pointer. Now the next point what we want to do is the next parameter is context groups. See, these are all the context on which context we have created the process. So context groups, group we have not created, process ID we have not done, context process models we have done. So we will write context process model, context process, okay, typo, context process models. Okay, and to refer the that as well, what we can do is we can get a constant for our process model. So let's create a constant for that process model. Process model can be referred directly, so it is process model pointer. I can name it differently, yeah, type. So type, in the now we will get process model. Okay, and we have to select our process model, that is TR travel, a reimbursement process model. So that was our process model name. Let's create the constant for that as well. So now our process model pointer is as well ready. Okay, and let's use it, cons bang, this, that is done. So report was done. So here always in the documentation as well, if you can see, report will be a document, .arf document, fine. And the context process model is done. Now the next thing which is remaining is query. In query, what we can use is Bank query. Okay, and after that it is a simple query entity only. Paging info we have to provide. Just provide the paging info and we'll get all the data. Paging info is how we can refer it, with the help of Bank paging info, and start index is what, 1, batch size is -1. We want all the data. Let's run test the rule inputs. See, here we are getting other start in the batch size data as well. So to remove that, we'll use dot data notation. Let's test it. Now that are removed. So this is the column name C3, C0, C1, C2. So all the data whatever in the our process report we had, all the values have been now converted into a data subset. So here if we see here, let's save the changes and we'll refer the same values. Either we can remember that or somewhere we can write it as a comment, like C3 will be used to get the start time. This is nothing but the start time. If you see here June 21 something is written here, so this is actually the start time. And C1 is equal to 2. C1 is 2 is nothing but the status. If it is completed, status will be 2. If it is accepted, its status is I guess for accepted status will be yeah, so here if you see here 1, and for assigned it will be 0. So like that it is. And C0 is our task display name. Okay, so now we are ready to create our task report. So for that I have created one interface, nothing I have done here. So in that what we want to do is let's take a card header here and we'll refer the data pointers here in a read only grid so that it will be a bit easier. Okay, and in the read only grid we have configured. Let's go back to our expression mode, and in the read only grid, so we can give something like task details. Okay, and in the data, so in data subset either we can refer this expression rule that we have made, or here as well in our task report we can directly, what you can say here, directly write the Appian query process analytics here as well, Appian query process analytics. So that, and the report as well we can make it. So we will run the report here only. Okay, and the context process models was there. So for context process models we'll use this one. Okay, both are done. Now for the, it is saying FB bank paging info is required. So for the query, so query is what, Appian query, and in the paging info we'll give FB bank paging info. So that's it, we want to display here. Now to configure the read only grid we need some column. So first column what we should write, for in first column we should include our task name. Okay, and then when it was started, that we can include. Okay, so let's include the task name. So to configure grid column we will write Appian grid column. Okay, and in that what is my label? Okay, so label we can give something as task name. Okay, and see task name label has came here. After that value, so value we need to provide. So what value we need to provide? So to provide any value, see every function, so we are within all the data we have to refer within that function. There is function variable for that, that is FV bank, and that row. And if you see here where our name is displaying, all these values are coming here, and for our reference we have made an expression rule as well. So it is in C0. C0 is representing our task display name, so we can refer C0. So if you see here, it will automatically tell HR approval for Steve for amount 2300, and all this task name are coming. But one thing you will notice here is it is not linkable, right? If it is not linkable, then what is the use? Fine, so we will make it linkable. So to make the link, if you go to value of that, you can see here a lot of links are there. Image link, we don't need that. Link field, yeah. Rich text display tag, a lot of links are there. Let's use Appian link field. Only link field can help here. In that link field, what you can see here is links are there, links. And what are the different links available? Dynamic link is there, news entry link, process task link is there, record, report, all these links are there. We will use process task link. This can provide the data related to our task. And now process task link has what parameters? It has label. So now currently you can see here our data has become null here. Okay, initially like in the value if we put FB Bank C0, then data was coming, but label itself is not there, so we have to provide the label as well. So label will be what? Again the same thing, FB Bank row dot C0, but now this time it will be come with a link. And one more thing is their task. So process task to view when the link is clicked. So for that we will use FB Bank identify. It will identify that task. Okay, so let's try to click on that. Which one task was active? So Porter P and all these things, Steve L and Steve K is completed, Porter P is not there. Let's try to create one task and let's see like is it coming in our task report or not. So let's quickly create. So let's give some employee ID and the name is let's take again Peter. Okay, so dot Peter @ email.com, and email ID is fine. Okay, description is what? Let's say something as client meeting, and it is requested for 20, and the amount. See, in order to generate a task we need an amount that is greater than 1000 rupees. So let's put 1300 for now. Okay, let's submit. So it would have created a task, right? And we should be able to see that task in our this process report as well. Let's refresh it and let's see the task is coming on. See, that task has came here and currently it is in assigned status. Let's see our expression rule here as well. One more entry will come, that is Peter K for 1300. Fine, everywhere it is coming. So here as well it should come. Let's try to test it and see, Peter L is coming. So it means that our task report is working, and if I click that report I should be able to directly go to my task as well, and from there the what you can say HR can approve that task. So you can see here HR approval for this has came. So we have done that. So let's close it. We need one more column here for now, not okay, so we will need one more column. Let's add one more grid column, and that is start time, Bank grid column. Okay, and label is what? Label is start time, and for the value we will write here at which column name date and time appear at C3, right? So for C3 we will write FV Bank row dot C3. So if you see here it has started like this. If we don't want all this such kind of time format which is a bit confusing, so for that we can use text function. So text function is there. Let's modify our text function a bit. So in text function how it works is that in text function you have to take whatever the value you want to format and how you wanted to format the date time, how you want to appear date. So for to appear date there is field called D. So if you keep here DDC 23rd is coming. If I just keep 1D, then see here how it will behave a bit differently. Fine, let's keep DD, and for month we will keep MM, for year we will keep YYY. So here it is saying like this. We don't want like this. Let's keep one more M, and it will say something like 21st June. At least it is a bit better. Date is set, time as well we want, right? So time is first of all for hour we can write HH colon MM. So it will give us time and minute as well. Now we want AM PM, so for that we can write AM / PM. Okay, so like that it is all PM. So our start date time is fixed. Let's save our changes as well. Now we will add one more column here, and that is a column called what is the status of our task. It is assigned or it is what. So let's add one more column here, and Bank grid. A bank grid column, and label is what? Label is status. Okay, and what is the value? Value is what? FV bank row dot. Now to check the status, which is that column which is reflecting the status? So you can see here C2 is reflecting the task process model name, actually process display name. C1 is 0, C2 is reflecting the task dynamic display name, C3 is the start time. So C1 is the one which is reflecting 0, 2 or 1. Okay, so we need to find that. So it is that value C1. So we'll use C1 here. Okay, what is the error we are getting? Expecting comma. Okay, we have missed the comma here. Fine. So now you can see a status. But see, 0, 1, 2 is not, it's not what you can say, it's not very understandable what is actually written there. We are not understanding, so we can use an if else statement as well. If status is 0, then display accepted, or if status is 0, then display something as what we can say is then display something as accepted. If it is 1, then completed and assigned. All these things we can do as well, but we will need 3 if conditions as well, so we don't want to do that. 3 if conditions we don't want to add. So to avoid nesting of if and else statement, we will create a decision rule, and directly we will map the values there as well. Okay, so let's create a decision rule. Get task name. So we will, the help of 0, 1, 2 value, we will get the task name. So it is very easy to create a decision. So just a basic decision we are going to create now. Okay, so this is our how decision works. So if our use case is like we are going to use multiple times if and else statement, so at that time decision plays a very important role. So in our input, what we actually want is so in our input we want status, status, status. Okay, and output should be what is the type of the input we are putting? We will put integer. 0, 1, 2 are integers only, and in output we will get our task status. Task status we will get in our output, and that will be text. Fine. Okay, fine. Task status. So three status are there, right? 0 is there, 1 is there, and 2 is there. This extra condition is there that we don't need. Let's leave it. So if it is 0, so currently if you see here, it was just 0, it was just assigned. So currently if we see once again, so now it has become 1 because I have opened the task one time. So if it is 0, it is currently in assigned state. We need assigned. If it becomes 1, then it will be accepted. The task has been accepted, and if it is 2, then the task has been completed. Okay, so let's test our rule input as well. If it is 1, then what it should reflect? Accepted. Let's save our changes, and we will refer the rule here. Okay, so in the value, what is our decision name? Our decision name is target. Okay, so we will refer that decision here. In the to refer decision we will use rule bank. It is rule bank is used, rule bank target display name. Okay, and now let's delete the C1 part for now. Yeah, so now if you see here, let's refer the rule. Okay, so now while referring the rule, it is saying like always use keyword arguments. So keyword arguments are nothing but whatever the status we have given here, we have to write that value. Okay, keyword we have used, and now what is the value it will fetch? In the value, what we are going to fetch? fvbangrow.c1, right? So that's all we want to fetch. So now if you see here, our status is currently in assigned status and it is completed. Let's check it once again. Now it is accepted, completed, accepted, accepted. All these tasks are there. Let's save our changes. Fine. And now we can go back to our site and directly refer the interface there as well. So let's go into our site. Okay, site is not open, so this will be our HR site. Let's open the site and directly we will add this value task report there, and our application would be completed after that. This is just the last stage, add page. So let's add the page, and here we will get the tasks, and here let's see some icon related to the tasks as well. So here it is tasks, it is an interface only. And what is the interface name? TR task report. Let's copy the name and paste it there. It will show us. Fine. And let's click on OK, and let's save the changes. And this was our HR site. So let's refresh our HR site. And now we can see the tasks as well. So currently we don't want to see the task. Okay, so let's see the task. They should be able to see the task first. When HR open the application, they should be able to see the task first, and then they should see the records and then this form, right? So let's save it and let's check once again, refresh it. So whenever the HR opens their site, they will be able to see the tasks first. So if you see here, task tab is at the top. So here they will just come here, and if you see it is accepted status, they will click on that task, and here only they will put the comment as what you say here, not approved. So let's see, not approved, and it will get rejected. Okay, once it get rejected, the status has now become complete, and the records you can see here, the Peter K has came and the status is now rejected. So this is how we have completed all our, and what is the comment, not approved, right? So this is how we have configured our task report as well. Okay, so if we want the accepted tasks, okay, so to be first, fine. So this is how we can we have configured our site. So let me know in the comments, like can we make any more improvements in that, or it's good for a starting purpose, this POC. Okay, so that was all in this application. So thank you all for the support till now in this application. Thanks for watching.